Okay, so this is a brief explanation of how to cite a web page in APA style. This is not a complete explanation, but it's exactly everything you need to know to cite a web page for my class. If you want to know more than what I'm going to present in this video, there's a couple places you can look. One is apastyle.org at elecref.html, and there you'll find a few things that are useful to you. Mostly a couple articles that are excerpted from their book. See these links right here that I've just highlighted in green. If you click on either of those, you'll get to a page that'll give you some extra information about citing web pages. And if you go here, owl.english.purdue.edu is an excellent site. It's the online writing lab of Purdue University. There's all kinds of good stuff there. If you follow this exact link, you'll get to their breakdown of how to do APA style for electronic sources, including web pages and all kinds of other stuff. That page looks a little bit something like this. I highly recommend going there. It's worth a visit. If you have any additional questions that aren't answered after this video, you'll find your answers there. You can also email me, of course. And then if you really feel like you need to know everything about APA style for electronic resources, you have to buy a book. This is like about 12 bucks. It's an additional piece to your APA style manual that you bought already. It's not really worth the price unless you're going to be a professional academic in this field, or if you're going to be a researcher in this field and writing papers for a living. In that case, you're going to want to buy this. Anybody else, I wouldn't really recommend it. You can probably get what you need from this and online. So let's give this a try. Here's a web page that I'm going to try to do a works cited page entry for. This is an online journal called Segue Writing on Writing, and there's a few pieces of information I'm going to want to take off of this page. First, that I've just highlighted in green, that's what's on the top of your browser bar. That's called the URL, or the web address. Whenever you find something online, you need to copy the entire URL that's up in your browser there and paste it into your works cited page. The whole thing all the way to the end, so that anyone who copies that down into their own browser can get to exactly the place where you found the information that you're sharing with us. Another thing where you need is the journal title, Segue Writing on Writing. And we're also going to pick an article off of this page. We're not going to read the whole thing for the video, but here we have the title and the author's name and the date, and here it is a little larger. It's a recorded voice formative assessment for creative writing students, a case study by Patrick West, and you notice they give us a date of publication for that essay. The entry, the works cited entry would look something like this. It's just exactly what you would do for a journal article, a print journal article, with one change at the end. It starts with the last name of the author, comma, first initial of the comma, period, West, comma, P, period. Then the date, the year of publication inside parentheses, and then a period, so this is 2007. Then the title, you see the title there, Recorded Voice Formative Assessment for Creative Writing Students, a Case Study, period. Then in italics, we put the name of the journal, Segue Writing on Writing, then a period, and then this last bit is what's going to come at the end of every web page entry. Retrieved, and then the date, February 1st, 2009, then the word from, and then the entire URL that we cut and pasted from our browser. Okay, so http:// and then all the rest all the way to the end. Okay, this is sort of an exceptional web entry because it has all of the information we need. Most web pages will not have this much information, so let's look at one that has less. Here's a page from the National Institute of Mental Health. There's an article here about brain development and mental disorders and the relationship between the two. The National Institute of Mental Health page is not a journal. They have a journal, but this is not it. So we don't have a journal title. We also don't have an author on this page. We do have a date of publication, and we have a title, So we have a few of the things we need, but we don't have everything. And if you look really, here's a close-up on the title, the date. They do give us a date of when it was posted, so that 2008 is going to be important to us. And of course, at the top of the browser, we want to cut and paste everything out of that little bar, so we get the entire URL. Here we go. This is what it would look like. So if we don't have an author, so instead of the author, we put the organization that's responsible for the information. Because there was no author, we're instead putting National Institute of Mental Health as the author of this article. Then we have 2008, which was the date that it gave us for when it was first posted on the web page. And then the title, clues to role of brain development as risk for mental disorders may also lead for better treatments. And then we have our retrieved on February 1st, 2009 from, and then a very long, you can see that we go all the way to the end, right? http:// and all the rest. Simply cut and pasted from the browser bar. This next one has even less information. This is a page from the Center for Disease Control, and this is their introduction to overweight and obesity. That's what they call it. So we have a few pieces of information. At the top of the browser, we have the URL, or the web address. We need to grab that. We also have the title of the article, which is Overweight and Obesity. And we don't have an author and we don't have a date, but we do have the organization that's responsible for this information, and that's the Center for Disease Control. So we need to at least grab those three pieces of information and then put it into something that looks like this. So instead of author, we have the organization, Center for Disease Control. Because there was no date of publication, we're putting in parentheses N period D period, stands for no date. Oh, and in fact I've made an error here. There should be another period after the parentheses close. And then after that period we have overweight and obesity, which is the title, and a period, and then our retrieved on February 1st, 2009 from http:// and all the rest. Just cut and paste from the browser bar. So, main points. If you have everything, if you have all possible information, then you fill it out just like you would for a normal print journal article, except that you also add the retrieved from and on, retrieved on and from, in the date. And when there is no author, you use the name of the organization instead of the author, just like we did for the Center for Disease Control and the National Institute of Mental Health. When there's no date, you use that ND, which comes in handy a lot. And then when there's no journal title, you simply omit this information. That means leave it out. So if you don't have certain types of information, you leave them out. But you should always have something for author, even if there isn't an author. And you should always have something for date, even if there isn't a date. And you always need that retrieved on. Okay? And that is it. This is the end of the slideshow, but I put to be continued because there's a lot more to know about APA style and the citing of electronic resources. I've given you the very bare bones of it, which is what I want you to use for my papers. When you get into 301 and beyond, your professors will want you to be more informed, or they'll show you more about the specifics of what you need to do. But what we've covered here is everything you need to know to write basic web citations for my class. Okay, so that's the end.